right, guys. So you should have just got done doing area of rectangles and triangles, practicing that. And now we're going to review and or learn area of circles. Circles are a little bit trickier. For example, rectangles and triangles are pretty straightforward. Base times height divided by 2. Circles, though, they introduce the number pi, 3.14. I'm not going to get into detail of what pi is, where it comes from, it's safe to say that pi is used with circles and the number is 3.14. So without further ado, I'm going to teach you guys about how to find the area of circles and what to do with that. Okay. All right, so here we are, and we are going to learn the area of a circle. And if you honestly don't like my video, go on to YouTube and find better videos. I'll attach a couple links for it. But the area of a circle. Well, let's talk about parts of a circle real quick. We have the circle. The outside of it is called the circumference. From the middle to one side is called the radius. The radius. From one side all the way to the other side, that's called the diameter. Remember, the radius is half of the diameter, right? So you have circumference, radius, and the diameter. However, to find the area of a circle, you just focus on the radius. Area of a circle is found by taking the radius and squaring it, or multiplying it by itself, and then timesing it by pi. So they say area equals radius squared times pi. They do say pi r squared, but I like to do it this way because the math is a little easier. For example, let's say I have a circle with a radius of 4 inches. Well, that means the area is equal to the radius squared, or radius times radius. You go 4 times 4. 4 times 4, which is 16, times pi. Now, if you want, you can go to a calculator, and you can take your calculator, and you can type 4 times 4 times pi, which is 3.14, and you get the answer 50.24. However, in higher mathematics, you don't have to use 3.14. Mathematicians are lazy. They want to take shortcuts. And here's one of the shortcuts. So if a mathematician saw this problem, they would go 4 times 4, which is 16, and they would leave pi alone. So the answer is technically 16 pi, which means 16 times pi. However, if I take 16 and actually times it by pi, so if I go 16 times and I hit the pi button right here, I get this long, nasty decimal. And that makes it really hard for rounding and for doing further math. So mathematicians just leave it alone. They know the answer is 16 pi, and if they really want it, they know how to get it. But they're just going to leave it just like that, 16 pi inches squared, and that's the answer. Now, if you forget the pi, if you forget it, then it's wrong. You always have to have that pi in there, right? Always bring pi to the party. So let's do another. For example, let's say I have a circle, and the radius is 10 centimeters. Okay? Well, area equals radius times pi, or radius squared times pi. Remember, we can leave pi alone. That's why we put pi at the end of the formula. Well, the radius is 10. That means I go 10 times pi. Well, 10 times 10 is 100 pi. So the answer is 100 pi centimeters squared. If I really wanted to, I could take my calculator, and I could go 100 times pi but then I get an ugly decimal, and we don't want that. So we're just going to leave it as 100 pi centimeters squared. Now, they're going to try to trick you. They always try to trick you in these math problems. For example, they're going to give you a circle, and they're going to be like, oh, the diameter. Ooh. The diameter is 14 feet. What's the area? Well, we have to think about this. What is the diameter? Diameter is from one side to the other. The radius is half of that. It's halfway. So what's the radius of this circle? For some of you, you might have realized. For others, not yet. But the radius is 7, because 7 plus 7 is 14. I went 14 divided by 2, and I got 7. Now, I can find the area. Area equals radius times pi. Radius times radius, that means 7 times 7, not 14 times 14. 7 times 7 times pi, which is 49 pi feet squared. Okay? So that's circles. Watch these YouTube videos. See if it makes sense. Check things out. And then you're going to do an assignment just like you did the other day. You're going to print it out. Do it on a separate piece of paper. I'll show it to you here right now. All right. Here's the area of a circle assignment for you guys. Okay. I've given you, looks like 10, 20 circles. I want you guys to practice this. Get repetition. Remember, area equals radius times pi. That's how you find the area of a circle. So number 1, the radius is 12. That means area equals 12 times pi. 12 times 12, if you have a calculator. If not, you probably do that in your head. It's 144 pi miles squared. Now, I know it says round to the nearest tenth. You don't have to do that, though. This is more accurate of an answer than that. I want to see this. But if it drives you crazy, you are more than welcome to take your calculator and go 12 times 3.14 and round your answer to the nearest tenth. So it'd be 452.2. 452.2 miles squared. Okay? Let me show you another one right here. Number 4. Radius is 3. Let me show you how fast you can do that. Radius times pi. 3 times pi, 9 pi yards squared. 3 times 3 to get 9. I'm being lazy. I'm ignoring pi. Don't care about it. Don't even like it to begin with, to tell you the honest truth. There's a couple tricky ones in here, like number 18. They don't give you the radius. They give you the diameter. What's the radius? It's half of that. So instead of 6, the radius is 3. So 3 times pi. Radius times pi will give us the area, 9 pi meters squared. And again, if you really want to, you can go 3 times 3.14, which is pi, and you can get 28.26, but you got to remember to round correctly. That means it'd be 28.3 meters squared. All right? Print this out, do it on the piece of paper, submit it by taking a picture, or bring it back. I guess if you have an ability to scan it into me and stuff like that, I just want to see your work. Thanks, guys.